right, everyone. Welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show for the OMFL. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We have been a week behind. We have been several Madden weeks behind. My God, you guys are flying through games, but you know what? Life happens sometimes. Everybody's been busy, but we have made time for you today. Let me welcome in our guest, our co-host, our champion, D. Wayne. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Glad to be here, Nate. Ready to kick this off. I miss doing these PPLs.
Well, let's just jump right into it, man. There has been a lot going on. I think the last show we left off, we were in week 3. If you can believe it, we are already in week 10 now. I'm not going to go back and rehash all of the scores, but I do want to take a look at a couple of these scores for you. So let's look at weeks 8 and 9, and then we're going to start diving into some league stuff. The Cardinals fall to the Seahawks 16-13 in week 8. The Colts fall to the Jaguars 34-27. The Falcons fall to the Rams 30-33. Those Rams have been on a 3-game winning streak as of late. The Eagles and their new owner, Dux, who's back here, the 2-time champion, OMFL champion, is back. He's got the Eagles. He's up 24-13 over the Jets. Cowboys win 34-20 over the Patriots. The Ravens won 24-14 over the Raiders. The Raiders have played much better football this season. The Bears 31, the Broncos 21, the Buffalo Bills 38, the Steelers 13. We actually do have the Steelers open. We had their owner step aside today, and so we are looking for a new owner. If you know of anyone, make sure that you send them our way. The Kansas City Chiefs 22, the Texans 21, the Dolphins 35 over the Chargers 17. Those Chargers, after a really great 2 seasons in a row, have struggled out of the gate here for season 71. The Panthers beat the Bucs 21-16. The Redskins beat the Giants 20-16, and the Vikings beat the Lions 16-13. And that is a look at your week 8 games. Let's cover week 9, and then we're going to jump in to where we currently are. The Patriots 31 over the Jets 24. The Giants 17 over the Lions 6. The Vikings 27. The Packers 24. The Colts beat the Saints 23-17. The Broncos beat the Chiefs in a big game 23-20. The Browns with a 15-10 victory over the Steelers. I think that game actually took place either last night or the night before. It actually was a really good game. The Eagles win 41-27 over the Bears, and a big win for those Eagles. The Falcons with a 38-14 over the Texans. We're going to take one quick pause here. I'm going to mute some of my friends. There we go. Where are we at here? The Falcons 38-14 over the Texans, a big victory for the Falcons. Panthers 21-17 over the Redskins. The Rams 17, the 49ers 9, the Ravens 15, the Bengals 10, and then finally for week 9, the Titans win 20-17 over the Bills, and that catches us up to where we are here in week 10. And wow, a lot of fast and furious games. What do you think about the season so far? I'm kind of throwing this one in there, a little off script, but what do you think about the season so far as we're sitting in week 10?
It's flying by. That's what it's doing. It's I love the fact everybody's getting these games in, playing them fast. But I will say this: the season so far has, to me, there hasn't been anybody that's just completely stuck out. It's been a lot of level competition. People that lower teams beating bigger teams. It's been fun so far, and it's been very unpredictable so far this season.
Let's talk about one of those unpredictable teams. Are you buying or selling the San Francisco 49ers as a contender here in season 71? Now, this team has struggled up to this point. If you don't know the history of the San Francisco 49ers, they've been through a couple of different owners here, and they just haven't been able to get off the schneid. Old Meathead moves over from the Chargers after turning that situation around. He does a much quicker job here in San Francisco, and this season has really blossomed out to a 6-2 record. He's 85 overall and one of the better teams here in the NFC. So are you buying or selling the San Francisco 49ers as a contender in the NFC?
Well, a lot's going to tell. They're playing the Seahawks right now, and whoever wins will be in sole possession of the division. But as a playoff contender, I buy. Coming out of the NFC West, you have 4 teams right there that I think since we've been here, there's been 3 different division winners out of that one. But anybody that comes out of that division knows that they had a tough season. I'd have to buy. The only games they've lost all year was to the Seahawks, who are 7-1 on the year, and to the Rams, who are last year's division winners. And I have to buy them. Their defense is phenomenal. First in the league, third in the league in passing defense, and third in rushing. And usually you don't have both. Usually you're stopping one or the other. He's stopping both. He's making up for the offense, which is a little on the lower side. But with a defense like that, I'm a soul guy. Defense it wins championships, and he's first in defense, and I think he's a contender.
A little on the lower side is being extremely nice to this guy. Oh, Meathead, of course, has swept me this season, but we're not talking about my season, which has been absolutely terrible. This guy can play. He is legit. But I am not buying or selling. I'm breaking the rules. I'm pawning them, okay? And here's why I'm pawning the San Francisco 49ers, because you are bottom half in points. You are 30th in total yards. You are 23rd in passing yards, and you're 27th in rushing yards. Scott Wang, their quarterback, is at 51% passing, 8 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions, a 75 quarterback rating. None of that's any good. His number one running back is only averaging 3 yards a carry for 356 yards on the season. There's just not a lot here. He have a really good couple of receivers in Henry and Green. Both of those guys, are playing really well. Again, you got to give it to him for his defense. That's why I'm not selling the team, is because of the defense. But I'm definitely bringing them to the pawn shop and needing another month to decide if I want to let it go, or if I want to go ahead and pay the loan back and keep them. The defense is absolutely great. 9th in points, 1st in yards, 3rd in passing, 3rd in rushing. I just don't like that offense. He's off to a quick start, 6-2. Again, you said it perfectly. He is playing the Seahawks right now. It's live, so you need to go check out that game if you're not watching it and you have time to watch games. That will tell a lot. The Seahawks are playing red-hot football this year. They're really, really good. But what causes me to pause and concern is the Rams have won 3 in a row, including some big victories over the Falcons and the Eagles. This team is beginning to turn things around and look like the leader that he was last season. San Francisco is going to have to score more points than what they're doing. They're going to have to get better rushing play. They're going to have to get better passing play. They're going to have to look much, much better than what they are. So I'm punting them off. We'll see what they look like in a couple of more weeks here. I love old Meathead. He's one of my favorite owners here. But there's definitely some concerns there. So let's move on to another team that we've talked a lot about over the last couple of seasons, honestly, and a team that none of us can quite wrap our heads around, and you don't really know what to do with them. But here's my question for you. Are the Miami Dolphins teasing us with this early lead in AFC right now? He's sitting at 5-3. A team that has either been right below 500 or right at 500 the last couple of seasons. A team that's known for starting off red hot and then faltering on the stretch at the end of the season. What do you think about the Miami Dolphins? He's sitting here at 5-3. Do you think he's teasing us, or is he the real thing?
Well, that's a tough one, especially in that division, because you got one game separating 4 teams. I want to give it to him. I think Miami as a team is a good team all around. They're kind of sitting in the middle of the pack almost everywhere statistically, on a little on the downside defensively. The biggest thing that worries me about them is they play up to their opponents. Big game against the Bengals, big game against the Patriots, stepped up and beat the Chargers, whose record doesn't show how good they are. But they lost some games to me that you're supposed to win. And I say supposed to win as in teams that it's tough to say they're an underdog. And I hate to call anybody an underdog, but there's games that you're supposed to win or that you should win that he's not winning. And you can't let games like that slip by you in the regular season because it'll come back to haunt you at the end. And if you look at the division record, he's tied with New England right now. He's still got to play him one more time. I'm going to count him as I'm going to buy him as a contender because of his passing game. The guy is crazy passing wise, and if he's on his game, Ask Houday, that first game of the year, he's unstoppable. But to me, he just got to be more consistent and play to that level every week, or at least try to.
Speaking of our buddy Houday, let's take a quick pause and let him know that we are praying and thinking about you, buddy. Our co-host that's usually on the show with us has been fighting health the last couple of weeks here and hasn't been able to be on the show. And if he's listening, I got to be honest with you, Houday. I got it on the NFL Network, and I'm watching your Bengals completely blow their playoff loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't even remember this game. That's how much I care about the AFC. And yeah, it's pretty dramatic to watch how terrible they just let this game go. But anyway, let's get back to the subject at hand. That's the Miami Dolphins. I am being negative Nancy today. My rear end still hurts from this terrible season that I've had. I am so angry. I want to put my foot through the screen. I am pissed off. I'm full of piss and vinegar. And I gotta just say the Miami Dolphins are teasing us. All right. Now I absolutely love the Miami Dolphins owner. Kevin is one of my favorite guys here. I know I say that about a lot of guys, but that's because I really do like 99.9% of our owners, other than D Wayne, because he just beat me pretty good. But outside of that, Kevin's one of my favorite guys. He owes me a hot seat. We haven't made it happen just yet. But to look at his team, here's where I'm concerned. Let me start off with this. Here's what I like. I like Matt Jones. He's averaging almost 5 yards a carry, almost 600 yards, 8 touchdowns. I like that. You got to love that. You got to love that his 2 top receivers each have 34 receptions. One has 600 yards. One has almost 700. Both have 4 touchdowns. Man, even Kareem Grant has 49 yards per reception, 294 yards on 6 receptions and 3 touchdowns. That is a big play guy. So he's got the guy that can stretch the field. He's got the guy that can make big plays. He is 5th in points on offense. He's 8th in rushing yards on defense. And the guy is playing really good football. But here's what I don't like. 19th in total yards on defense, 26th in yards on defense, 27th in points on defense, 15th in passing yards on offense, 18th in rushing yards on offense. Blake Bortles has 12 touchdowns, 18 interceptions to toss in another 15 sacks. You don't like any of that. Plus, he's really struggling with finding out who is his number 1 backup running back. You don't like that either. He does have some guys that can get after the quarterback. But, man, I think that this team, again, I think you hit it on the head. He loses the teams he should beat, and he's beating teams he should win against. And when you get in the playoffs, when you get on that home stretch, you got to be able to shut out those teams like myself who are 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 win teams. Those games you got to be winning when you're in the Miami Dolphins trying to make a playoff push late in the season. And he has a terrible habit of not doing that, not winning those games, and letting some of those things come back to haunt him. So I got to sell the Miami Dolphins as a contender. I think he's just a tease, and we'll have to see where this falls out in another couple of weeks here. Now let's turn our attention to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Our buddy Brady sitting over there. He's got his team playing much better football this season. He looks to be that number 1 contender. And he has a running back that now is in his 3rd year out of Ohio State. He was a first-round draft pick, 27th overall, I think in our very first draft of Madden 17. Leroy Flynn, he's been kind of a trifecta of running backs over in Jacksonville, but this year he's really been given the ball a whole lot more. So my question to you is Leroy Flynn a number 1 running back, not only for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but just here in general in the OMFL?
Well, to start it out, if you take the majority of the carries from Brady, you must be a heck of a running back, because he usually spreads them carries out to 3 guys. But looking at his stats, averaging almost 8 yards a carry with 11 touchdowns through 8 weeks this year, it's ridiculous. I've had the misfortune of playing against him this year. He didn't have a great game, but he just headed that Jacksonville attack, that defensive-minded football he does. I think he's a great running back. 93 speed, 89 acceleration, 92 carry, just a little bit of everything just to punch you in the mouth, but also take it the distance. And like I said, to get that many carries from Brady, I think the last 2 seasons, he's already got more carries through 8 games than he had either season, his first 2 years. He is the man. And like I said, to take them carries from other 2 backs, you have to be the man on Brady's team. I'm buying this guy as he's a legit running back.
Let Mr. Piss and Vinegar go ahead and start this off with saying, yes, he is a number 1 running back in the league, but I definitely do have some concerns. Here's the things I like. 70 carries year 1, 96 carries year 2. Already through, technically, his team through 8 weeks. He had bye week in week 9, hasn't played week 10. He's already got 100 carries, so he's already carrying the ball the most that he has all his entire career. He's already got 11 touchdowns. He's averaging 7.7 yards per carry. He's going to easily break probably 1,200 yards. He's got a long of 82. But here's my concern. I don't like his 69 strength. I think that you have to have more strength than that to be a number 1 running back full-time here in this league. I hate his acceleration of 89. I think it does fit Brady very well with his running style, the way he uses his backs. I do think that it will fit his running back well, but I think overall I don't like those things. Here's a couple of other things that I just don't like and that I'm concerned about. Week 5, 17 carries, 207 yards, no touchdowns. That's a great week, but you want to get in the end zone. 4 weeks, the last 4 weeks, 0 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns. So he's had no touchdowns in his last 4 weeks. This is clearly a guy that got off to a hot start and has cooled off. 207 yards in week 5. He's got that follows that up with 54 yards against you in week 6. 44 yards against Houston in week 7, 67 yards in week 8 against the Indianapolis Colts. He had 17 carries against Denver. He follows that up with 10, 13, and 10. So even Brady himself is beginning to lose confidence in this running back. And again, no touchdowns, no runs over 20, 2 fumbles in the last 4 weeks, and no broken tackles in the last 3 weeks. Only 1 in the last 4 weeks. So those are some really concerning things. I think, though, he got off to such a hot start that he clearly will break, 1,200, 1,100 yards. But I think that the stats are telling us that Brady has lost some confidence in this young man. There are some things that you got to be concerned about. He is a very, very good running back. I will say he is a number 1 running back. He is not the number 1 running back in the OMFL. Now let's look and transition to another young fellow that we have here. And we're going to look over at the Houston Texans. And the Houston Texans have had about 2 or 3 seasons now where they've had a hard time of getting off the schneid, so to speak. Last season, I think the last 2, he's had a top 5 pick, if not a top 3 pick. And he's really decided to completely change the way he's revamped his team. And he goes out in the first round, the 7th overall pick, and he drafts Darian Traynor, a quarterback out of Wisconsin. This guy is 6'6". He's 21 years old. He is like an average development guy, but clearly has all of the tools. 91 throwing power, 91 short, 90 medium, 80 deep, 75 play action, and even has a little bit of athletic ability with the 81 acceleration to move around the pocket. But this guy is playing exceptionally well. And my question for you is Darian the rookie of the year so far here in the MFL?
Well, I would have said if you'd asked me 3 weeks ago, I'd have said he's a lock to win it. He's thrown for 2,600 yards, 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and I'll go to that because I know the last 3 games he has 10 interceptions last 3 games. I'm a statistician guy. I kept an eye on him all season because he was right there with Ryan for quarterback rating the whole season. The last 3 games against Kansas City, 4 interceptions. Atlanta, 3 interceptions, and Tennessee, 3 interceptions, and that worries me because he falls behind. When he does fall behind, he starts forcing it, and Trainer's a lot better than that. But like I said, the last 3 weeks have hurt his year campaign, in my opinion. There's really only one other guy, maybe 2 guys that would compete with him, and that's going to play to his favor. Cincinnati has a quarterback who's playing awesome this year, and Indianapolis has a receiver who's phenomenal, who's really flown on the radar. But it's his rookie of the year to lose. And hopefully he can get out of this funk he's in the last 3 games because he's a lot better than that. His rating was around 120 before these last 3 games. And like I said, these last 3 have really hurt his campaign. But unless the Bengals quarterback or Colts guy really steps it up, I still think he'll be the rookie of the year.
I'm angry. I hate everyone. I hate everything, including this quarterback. No, I'm just joking. But no, I do not think he'll win rookie of the year. And I think you said a lot of the same reasons. Look, quarterbacks are the sexy pick for rookie of the year, for play of the year. They get way too much credit for the success of teams, and they usually pay too much of the price for the downfall of teams. But I think you've said all the right things. When you throw, 7, 8, 9, 10 interceptions in the last 4 weeks, when you've been sacked another 8, 9, 10, 11 times, that's a problem. Now, he did throw 5 touchdowns against the Tennessee Titans, so you got to love that. But overall, he's sitting at 60%. 2 of his last 4 weeks have been under 60%, and he's thrown all of those. He's thrown all of those interceptions, and he hasn't gotten the protection he needs. So I am not buying him as rookie of the year. I think he will clearly be in contention. He is a very good player. He still needs a little bit more work on him. Houston, like you said, pushes the envelope a little too strongly with him. I think a running back or another quarterback is going to step up and snatch this away from him, but he does have the opportunity to make this his race if he plays much better. But you know what? Darren just can't continue to throw all of those picks if he's going to win Rookie of the Year. So there you have it. That is a look at our league up through Week 10. We'll cover the power rankings. Oh, they're not working here. I thought that they were going to be working. Let me see if I can pull them up this way and see if usually it'll pull it up this way. If I pull up the power rankings, I'm going to give you our top 10. Yeah, here we go. I'll pull up our top 10 real quick, and then we're going to get to our outside the league segment. You got Seattle at number 1. They are the number 1 team with a rating of 19.16, so he's far in the lead at number 1. Number 2 is the Cincinnati Bengals at 7-2. Jacksonville Jaguars are number 3 at 6-2. San Francisco 49ers at 6-2 are number 4. Minnesota Vikings at number 5 at 6-3. The Dolphins at 5-3 are number 6. Your Atlanta Falcons are at number 7 at 6-3. Chicago Bears are at 8 at 6-3. The Oakland Raiders, who we're going to have to talk about really soon, are at 5-3. They're number 9. And then to wrap up your top 10, the Washington Redskins are at 5-3 with a rating of 4.542. So there you have it, a top 10 list in the OMFL, and that catches you up through Week 10. And now that leaves us time for our segment, which we call Outside the League. And here we just talk about something that's taking place in our community, outside of our league, in our world, all kinds of stuff. And the hot button topic right now is our new MLB The Show league called Quest for Glory. If you haven't seen their logo, you need to go to the website, grownfolksoc.com. Check out their logo. It's super sweet. We had a guy do a really good job for us on their logo. But they are kicking off their MLB League The Show, which dropped last night. So people are super excited about the new game. My question to you, Dwayne, is how excited are you about this game? What are you looking forward to the most with the new Quest for Glory League?
Well, I'm excited for one. It's been a few years since I actually bought an MLB The Show game, and I've never been a part of a online franchise in it. So it's going to be a whole new world for me. I'm excited for it. The fantasy draft in it we're doing kind of threw me for a loop a little bit because I really like my team, but I think it'll add a twist to it. I think it's going to be fun. I think we got a solid group of guys going to be playing. We have a few more spots open, I think, guys, if y'all are listening. But it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I am really excited. I think it's going to be a whole new, I guess, change from going to Madden. It'll be a nice little break in between my Madden games to play. And I'm excited. New for me. I ain't played a baseball game in years. And we might see the true ugly side of baseball come out when I start playing.
Yeah, I usually sometimes I get the show, sometimes I don't. I got it last year. It was a really great game, but I got rid of it within a couple months because I just get bored with games that I don't play with other people. If it's just me playing, I usually get pretty bored with them. But I am excited about being able to play with everybody. I'm looking forward to the league. I'm a lot like you. I love my Houston Astros, and so it's going to be weird to have them without actually having the team. So I may just like go on a run and just start drafting all Houston Astros. But anyway, it should be a whole lot of fun. This will be the first time I've ever been part of a show, a baseball league. I usually play offline, usually play road to the show. So this will be a nice change of pace. Again, it's just something that we added here to keep that momentum through the summer. Look, we know that 12 months of Madden can just wear thin on you, especially if you get off to a slow start in your season. So we have other options. We have golf, we have the coach mode, we now have baseball, we have FIFA. There's a lot of other options for you to get involved in. We're even connected to the WWE league that we can connect you with and let you go play some WWE over there. So some fun stuff coming, man. We've got some new guys who don't play in our community that are joining us because of Quest for Glory. So lots of fun stuff, lots of fun people that we're adding here, and I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. So let's put a bow on the show here. I did just realize I didn't hit record on the video, so this will be like no true video like we normally do, but I will have a video. We're just going to put the logo and underlay all of the audio on it, but we will push out a game of the week right after this. I'll knock out a game of the week for week 10. I know a lot of games are getting played, but we'll knock one out. And then hopefully sometime this weekend, maybe, probably on Sunday while WrestleMania is going on. If you're not watching WrestleMania, you need to do that. It's free on the WWE Network. You get a month free. Sign up. Check out WrestleMania. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, maybe then I can do a hot seat too. So before we put a little bow on it, let me go through the races real quick. We are in week 10. By the next time we get here, we'll be deep in the playoff runs if they're not already decided. Right now, your division leaders are the Bengals, the Jags, the Dolphins, and the Raiders in the AFC, the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Falcons, and the Redskins in the NFC. The wildcard teams right now, the Patriots and Chiefs in the AFC, the 49ers and the Giants in the NFC. Your teams on the bubble still in the hunt. You got the Ravens, the Texans, the Bills, and the Browns. And then over in the NFC, you got the Bears, the Cowboys, the Rams, and the Eagles. So lots of fun things coming here, man. The playoff races are starting to heat up. Guys are starting to talk some smack and make their runs. Steve Wayne, bring us home. Put a little bow on your final thoughts through Week 10 in the OMFL.
I'm ready. Playoff push is here. I mean, these guys, like I said, we got a lot of playoff race fighting going on. I love this time of the season because this is when you see the real competitiveness come out of everybody. And if anybody drafts Ichiro in the fantasy draft tomorrow night, I'll be really angry at you. So there you go.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the show today. We hope that you had enjoyed it. Thank you for being patient with us, especially you new guys. Usually we knock these out every week. We have tons and tons of content. We do. We still have tons of content that's out there. We'll do a better job of getting videos. Life is just crazy right now. I'm actually, if you guys don't know, I am a minister, and I'm doing 2 weddings for my boss and a young person that I know. So I'm like, I'm busy. Life is busy. Work's busy. Dwayne's busy. God, there's tons of stuff. But the OMFL keeps trucking, and we keep pushing out good content, and we keep giving you guys what you've asked for. So thank you for tuning into the show this week. I'll try not to be so full of piss and vinegar next time, Dwayne. I'll be nicer, Nate, next time that we're on the show. I love you guys. I appreciate you for being part of our community. Dwayne, thanks for all that you do here. Houday, we're praying for you, buddy. Get better really quick. Until next time, fellas, we'll see you. Good luck. Peace.
Fail.